New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? It's Jealous from Nick of Time Show. Here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And I'm here with my man, the Latin Assassin, my guy, Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
Yo, let's talk some quickly.
Exactly. Let's get to it. Yeah, there's been news or rumors. I'm gonna keep it in the rumor bin about the price tag of Imanuel Quickley. Now, there's been rumors that Quickley, is requesting to be paid around what, 9 figures? Was it 9 figures? Around the $100 million range, and it's caused a stir in Knicks Nation. Because I think a lot of it has to do with his playoffs, his playoff appearance. He didn't really play well in the playoffs, although for me, when I'm looking at the way he performed defensively, he was really good. He had the best defensive rating in the playoffs, period. And even though he did not shoot the ball well, he still had an impact because of his defense. But if you want to play a guy that type of money, you want to have an impact on the offensive end as well. And so Knicks fans have some concerns, and I think everybody else does, especially because of this new CBA coming up, where it has a lot of people thinking about and what it means for the team. So, Lee, what do you think about the potential of Imanuel Quickley being worth $100 million or somewhere in that range?
All in. Got no issue with it. I think he's our best defender on the perimeter. I think of all of the young guys we have on the team, it's really close between him and Grimes on who has a higher ceiling. I think Quickley will meet that ceiling quicker. I think if given an opportunity to start, I agree with my man George on Into the Knitverse. He's a top 10 point guard. I love his two-way ability. I think that he's one of the best draft picks the Knicks have had in 35, 40 years. Like probably since Patrick Ewing, he's a top 5 draft picks we've had. And we should retain him. We should develop him. And eventually, at some point, hopefully, he can become the starting 2 guard if the roster is constructed the right way to help his pros and cons in his game. I love him. I love his personality. I think he's just a really good dude, high character. He's a type of guy that Leon Rose, Walt Perrin, and Scott Perry have sought after when building this roster. And I think we should do everything we can to keep him. I think he's worth $25 million. 4 years from now, it'll look like a great deal.
Yeah, I keep looking back at Jalen Brunson and the Dallas Mavericks and how that situation played out, where Jalen Brunson was a solid piece off the bench, and Dallas Mavericks in the front office looked at Jalen Brunson and thought to themselves, he's a solid piece off the bench. Yeah, he's putting up starter numbers when he's starting, but do you want to invest in him? And
perfect analogy.
And not to say, I'm not trying to say that Imanuel Quickley will be Jalen Brunson, but I do believe that Imanuel Quickley could prove to be a starting caliber point guard if giving starters minutes. He's averaged 21 points a game as a starter on efficient shooting, efficient 3-point, and he plays defense as well. So when fans looking at this, it's way too much for a guy who isn't a starter. He's like, he can probably put up those numbers, and the worst part of this is we have to learn from smart people, learn from their mistakes. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes.
Right.
The Dallas Mavericks did not offer him anything and lost him for nothing. Not a cent in free agency. If Imanuel Quickley leaves out the door and we get nothing in return, that'll be the worst, that will be the worst move that this front office has fumbled
easily
in his tenure.
Easily.
The Knicks have had a track record of getting young picks, trading them before they actualize into anything and not getting anything in return. So the one time where where we go, you know what? We developed this guy in-house. He was this when we got him. He grew into this later on. And now you just want to ship him off and you want to play that Russian roulette without trying to get a piece back or like that. That would be a huge mistake. I would definitely stay clear of that. Even if in your idea, like you're like, all right, cool, man. If you're looking down the road and go, man, we're paying Julius Randle 30 million, 7 figures. We're playing RJ Barrett 7 figures. We're playing Jalen Brunson 7 figures. Man, we can't play IQ that as well. Even if that's your mindset, I think you still have to do that because he was our best player last season, during the regular season. And you might just have to do that and then deal with the consequences later, or like try to move him or another one of those pieces later down the road, just so you don't lose him for nothing. Pretty much.
I agree, man. I think you hit the nail on the head when you compare it to the Jalen Brunson scenario. It's absolutely similar. And I think the Knicks, more than Obi, more than Mitch, even more than RJ. I think Grimes and IQ are the two guys that fit the modern NBA the best.
Yeah.
And plug and play on almost any team in the other 29 teams in NBA, and most specifically are the smoothest fit with this current roster. They're both of them are thriving under Tibbs. I think both of them would thrive under Johnny Bryant. Both would thrive under any type of coach that you bring in. Anyone who ranges from the Nick Nurse side to the Willie Green side, Udoka, it don't matter who's coaching his team, Quickley and Grimes are going to produce on both sides of the ball, and they will both continue to do better because they are both self-initiators.
Yeah.
Gym rats. They both work tirelessly on their game. On both sides of the court. And they're both high character guys. Quickley is not somebody that you gamble on thinking, oh, he's only good because he's a system player or he's good because the players are around. No, he's a dog, and he's gotten better every single year since he joined Kentucky in college. And Quentin Grimes the same way. Once at the Houston, he became a great rebounder. He became a great defender. He added to his game. He took a step back from being on ball and thrived off ball. Like, these are guys you got to invest in, and I think the front office should do everything they can to retain. You not only retain him, but get in the bag. He deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I will push back on what you said from earlier is starting him, man. Like, that's my only thing. Like, I'd love his defense, but I do worry long term about having a Quickley Brunson backcourt, even though I do love his defense, just because of the size factor. Like, I watched big old Kyle Lowry bully IQ because he outweighed him when the Knicks played the Heat. So I do have worries about IQ playing like the bigger two guards if he's, starting as a two guard. But as a point guard, though, if he's like in instances where Jalen Brunson can't go specifically, because we've seen it when we played the Celtics, IQ can go off. You can go off on starting point guards and defend those guys at a higher rate to me for like a full 48 minutes to me.
I'm not as concerned about the height situation because he's such an unbelievable defender and he has such good length in terms of his wingspan. There are very few point guards like Kyle Lowry. That body type is kind of being phased out at the point guard position because the game is becoming so much more up-tempo and fast-paced. Most of the point guards and even two guards don't have that type of build anymore. Those are like those guards where they were able to post you up in the half court, the Dwayne Wade style. Those are kind of on Baron Davis or falling by the wayside. I think the next 4 or 5 years, Imanuel Quickley's physicality will be more equipped to be a starting two guard and to play next to Brunson. I mean, the dynamicism, the playmaking, the scoring, the shooting, that's a hell of a backcourt. I would take the risk by giving up 2 inches that you would get back with all that Imanuel Quickley brings.
Understood. But as you know, man, big IQ fan, probably bigger than I should be. There's still an old video of me saying IQ should start after like watching one preseason game. Super fan stuff, like super duper Knicks fan, like hyper take.
You are. I agree. You are.
After one preseason. But to be fair, like at that time we had Franklin Nikita and Desmond Jr. on our team, so you know it wasn't like like the competition. But you know Desmond Jr. is balling right defensively. He's stepped up and he's showing something in Charlotte, but that's another story. All right,
I agree.
yeah, but shout out to Desmond Jr., who I saw on like an all defensive point guard list recently. So shout out to you, in your career, man.
I love DSJ.
Yeah, man. Yeah, seemed like a nice guy, even though he got the wrong end of the boo birds in New York. All right, but yeah, I've said everything I had to say. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I give him the bag. More than anything we've talked about in the last couple of days, this is the one I am the most certain on. Give Quickley the bag. Pay him what he wants. $25 million is fine with me.
Oh, you know what I'll say too? My one last thing. We can still do our Knicks special. I don't know if it's the Scott Perry special because Scott Perry is not with the Knicks anymore. But there is a special, there's a move we do where we front end the contracts. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you want $100 million? Okay, cool. Give him a 1-year overpay. And the subsequent 3 years are smaller, makes them easier to move later on if you have to make a decision, and now teams will be able to match that contract a little bit easier.
Right.
So if we do that and he's steadfast on that is the number, maybe we can do something like that. Right? Cool.
Agreed.
That is our show. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe button, and definitely join us for all the Knicks talk. That's our show. I'll check you later. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.